Hi, everybody. This is Silvio Canto in Dallas, Texas, Wednesday, September the 20th, and welcome to our video commentary. Before we say anything, though, I did want to say just a prayer for the people of Mexico and the people of Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico, the hurricane, and Mexico, the earthquake. Obviously, a very difficult situation for both of those neighbors of the United States, our neighbors in Mexico and uh, the people of Puerto Rico. It's always tough when these things happen in your neighborhood. We went through that in Houston and South Florida, so we understand how deadly it can be. So let's say a prayer for Mexico and a prayer for the people of Puerto Rico. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about President Trump's speech at the United Nations and the reception. And I find the reception to be very interesting. Obviously, you have your partisan reception, like you have, for example, former Secretary Kerry saying that we need to be talking about diplomacy. Well, that's true, we do. But diplomacy was so ineffective under the Obama administration. I mean, can you cite to me a simple diplomatic success of the Obama administration? The Iran nuclear deal? I mean, come on. The Russia reset, was that a great example of a diplomatic achievement? The reality is that the Obama administration talks a great deal about diplomacy, but diplomacy is only a part of a foreign policy. You also have to have the ability to enforce uh, your resolutions against countries like North Korea and other countries that choose to be bad characters. Doesn't matter how many resolutions the United Nations passes telling North Korea not to fire missiles. It's like with Saddam Hussein. I mean, they wrote a dozen resolutions over a dozen years telling Saddam Hussein to open up his country for the inspections, and he never did. So it doesn't matter. Diplomacy is only effective when diplomacy is backed up by the realistic threat of military use. And with North Korea, that's a good example. I mean, what can we talk with North Korea about? I mean, how do you talk to somebody who fires missiles over Japan? And I think President Trump was correct yesterday in telling the other countries at the United Nations that the United States will protect itself. And if they're not willing to do something about North Korea, if the United Nations is not willing to do something about North Korea, then the United States has to protect itself. It cannot simply be at the mercy of missiles from North Korea. So I thought that was a very good point by President Trump. The other interesting point, too, is that when he beat up Venezuela, when he said some critical things about Venezuela, he's exactly right. Venezuela is a disaster, and it's a disaster to a large extent because of the policy of Hugo Chavez that continued to be followed by President Maduro. Now, President Trump also said something that a lot of people maybe missed, but I think it's extremely important. He said the United States taxpayers pay 22% of the budget of the UN. That's exactly correct. American taxpayers pay 22% of the budget of the UN. Now, I wouldn't be, I realize that the US economy is bigger than that of other countries, so I'm not opposed necessarily to paying a larger share, but it would be nice, as President Trump pointed out, if we could get a return on that investment, even a small return, even something at the UN that contributes to peace. Not much at the UN contributes to peace. So I think overall it was a good speech. And the best way to measure how good of a speech it was is check out the people who are criticizing it: Iran, North Korea, Venezuela, Cuba. Well, if those are the countries criticizing the speech, it was a very good speech. Thank you for watching. We archive all of these videos over at YouTube. We also put them on Twitter, and we also put them over at my blog as well as my Facebook political page. Thank you for watching, folks. Have a great day. Last day of summer here in Texas, but you wouldn't know it by the temperatures. Summer is going to leave slowly, it looks like, here in North Texas. Bye bye, everybody. Have a wonderful day.